Welcome, everyone. Hopefully you're all signed in and ready to go here. I am Layla Taha, current president of the National Flood Association. For those of you who may not be familiar with the NFA, we're a national nonprofit trade association that works to advance the common interests of the flood risk management community. Our membership is comprised of a diverse group of flood stakeholders representing insurance, lending, flood mapping and data, claims, and other segments of the market with a vested interest in flood-related topics. The NFA is pleased to offer today's session, The Future of Flood Claims Technology is Here, thanks to the efforts of NFA's Claims Committee. Before we begin, I want to encourage you all to enter any questions you have in the chat, and we will be monitoring them as we move into the Q&A portion of this session following the panelist presentations. Also, for your reference, you will find biographies for all session participants in the speaker section of this app, and you will also find more information about the National Flood Association in this app under Documents. We plan to make the recording of this session available, and we'll let you know via email where you will be able to access it. So it is now my pleasure to introduce today's session moderator, Richard Folkman, who is Vice President of CAT Operations and Flood and Carrier Practice Leader at Crawford and Company, which is a member of the NFA and active participant on the Claims Committee. So with that, Richard, take it away.
Thanks, Layla. Hey, everybody. I'll be your moderator today for this 1-hour session. And NFA's goal today is to broaden your knowledge of what technology is currently out there for adjusters to use to improve the claims process for the insured, improve quality of files, and to help increase adjuster production and manage the time that they have out in the field. We've assembled an esteemed group of panelists to discuss and demonstrate their products today. Our panelists are Andy Greff with PLNAR, Henriette Fleishmann with Hosta AI, and Cary Peterman with Verisk. I want to extend a warm welcome to our panelists and thank them for taking the time to share their knowledge and time with our group today. We've come a long way from the pen and paper estimating of 50 years ago, and today's technology just surpasses that, obviously. I mean, we started out with handwriting long form estimates on blank sheets of paper, making another handwritten copy for the insured to have. Then someone brilliant invented carbon paper, and it changed the world for adjusters. No more duplicating by hand. Next came carbonless paper. So now we didn't have to keep track of that flimsy little thing that the wind would pick up and take and throw out to the yard when you're trying to write an estimate. DOS computing came in, and that started the incessant key pounding heard from hotel rooms around the country. Cameras at one time, I know it's hard to believe, required film processing, which delayed the necessary documentation for a claim, and you didn't know if you got the right shot for days or weeks. Then came the Polaroid, photos in minutes. Everybody's shaking their hand trying to dry that and get that process to go faster. They were very easy to damage, and they didn't last very long in a claim file. Digital changed everything. You basically got to see the pictures as you took them. You could take as many as you wanted. Satellite imagery came in. Then we had the onset of drones, and that was going to change everything. And everybody wanted to get their drone license and went out and bought drones. But many carriers shied away from allowing their use after a short period of time. So it kind of shows how technology can come in and look good, but suddenly it can go away too. Mobile claim apps with the smartphone, giving us real-time updates, status, getting images uploaded quickly, and critical data to the carriers when they need it. Virtual and remote inspection and claim handling. Digital documentation. Now you can send emails with the estimates. You don't have to handwrite, or you don't have to print anything anymore. And I'm sure I've missed some others. So from climbing on roofs for measurements to using satellite imagery, we're constantly evolving, and carriers are always looking for ways to improve the claim process and obviously the customer experience. with all this technology and all these changes, the one constant, the thing that we need to think about is, regardless of the tools we use and how they have evolved over the years, the one thing hasn't changed. It's the customer and their situation, especially if they've been impacted by a flood event. They've suffered a major loss, probably displaced from their home. They don't care about the tools we use. They just want to get back to normal as soon as possible. So with that, I'm going to go and introduce our first panelist. We have Andy with PLNAR. And Andy, why don't you tell us how your technology is impacting the claims adjusting?
Perfect. Can you hear me okay? Can everyone hear me okay? I think it's good. All right. Well, first of all, thanks for inviting me here. Appreciate it. Really excited to talk to you a little bit about PLNAR. I get a lot of questions, by the way, on the pronunciation. The pronunciation is however you want to pronounce it. I say PLNAR. You can say PLNAR, however you want to pronounce it. The actual AR of the name comes from augmented reality, which is back in 2017, 2018, we were doing some interesting stuff in the XR AR world, and that's where the AR comes from. So little factoid there. PLNAR is a digital claims transformation company powered by AI. We're working with a ton of carriers, over 40 carriers, to make virtual claims a reality for them. But as has already been stated, flood claims are different. We're handling a lot of daily claims, some CAT claims on interior as well. But flood claims are very different. Our platform allows carriers to evolve their digital claims transformation and get to straight through processing. We're automatically writing estimates for them. But flood claims are very different from the dailies that we're working on. So our platform today provides carriers an end-to-end self-service claim solution. Now, self-service in this case means anybody in the field can use it. It's just simple enough for a policyholder. But as you think about flood and as you think about the digital transformation from carbon paper to Polaroids to SLRs now to smartphones, right? Now we've got patented technology that is very applicable to flood that generates 3D models of interior spaces, including contents and materials, by the way, all from smartphone photos. So let's take a step back real quick and what are we doing in the daily claims world? What are the requirements that we have to launch a virtual claims solution that could be relevant for flood? Well, you got two people in there. You've got policyholders and desk adjusters, and the requirements for both of those are rather straightforward. First of all, it has to be simple. Anybody can pick it up and use it. No training required. It has to work on all devices, has to be fast. Asynchronous is an interesting thing here. It means that somebody can take the pictures whenever they want. You don't have to have a video collaboration and somebody in the seat over here, somebody in the seat over here. So we revolutionize this idea to just fire and forget, send off a text message, and the person in the field can take the pictures whenever they want. Full integrations. It's got to be consistent, accurate. Your adjusters have to trust the information, and it has to be complete, meaning like everything in that room, everything in the space. Now, flood requirements are very different. We took a look at this space back in 2018 and 2019. And as we evolved PLNAR Snap, it's always been the back of our mind of how we evolved, and the requirements for flood have always driven our product requirements. Is flood ready, adjusting ready for a self-service solution? Yeah, there's some use cases where it works, but I think the primary use case right now, and for most of the folks on this, is how do we make a flood adjuster more efficient so they can handle more assignments? A half assignment more a day, one assignment more a day. However we end up making them more efficient, that's much more beneficial for that flood adjuster, okay? Now, the industry, you still need super accurate drawings and from these smartphone pictures. Now, the other thing that flood needs is multi-level floor plans, basement hit, first level hit. You have to be able to provide all of that information and the full context of the loss. Now, one of the other interesting things here, and I can't stress this enough, we run on an app, Android and iPhone app. We did that purposely. It provides better experience. It guides the user through the process. But most importantly, as it relates to flood, and cat work, it can work offline. So you can go onto into a cat environment where there's minimal, if any, connectivity, and you can capture these pictures on site and upload later. It works all offline. Not only that, PLNAR can be used not only for interior, but for your exterior capture as well. We've rolled out some functionality that allows you to document the exterior. I know you have to document the address and you want to check that flood line of the exterior of the house. I know this is showing the flood line in the interior, which is one of the features that calculates all of the damaged drywall, but you want to calculate the damage on the exterior as well. And we have that capability. Not only that, but you can go and use the same project multiple times on different days. So I know you have to go and check the level of the flood and make sure that it's gone down and check out drying and things like that. One interesting thing here is this could save a ton of time for a flood adjuster by maybe the first time they go out, they take the pictures using PLNAR, but the second time they ask the policyholder to take the pictures or somebody else from their team. It doesn't matter. It all can upload into the same project. And everyone must have integration to exact analysis and CoreLogic. Great thing about our system, you can get assigned an exact analysis and the PLNAR project created. You can upload all the sketches, pictures, everything into exact CoreLogic. And now we actually deliver estimates back for PLNAR enabled claims back into exact and CoreLogic. So as I mentioned, we have a ton of carriers already using our stuff, 3 top 10 carriers, heavy production using our system. So it's been proven and works all the way for the entire claim stack. Now, I'm not going to go through a big demo of the app. It guides you through taking pictures. If you're interested in doing a demo, by all means, just send me an email at andy@planar.ai. But it's just a guided process. It takes a couple seconds. Now, the generation, the output is really super sexy and really neat. It guides the user through a simple standardized steps to capture the process. For an adjuster, it's probably around 20 to 30 seconds a room, to be honest with you. It's pretty fast. Once you've done it once, it's really easy. And it automatically generates these data sets, whether it's a home on a ridge here, a single room, peaked room. We handle all of the cabinetry, everything built in. It transforms those pictures into measurable 3D models. And we have multi-level floor planning. I'll show you a demo of this, but gives you an amazing, let's see if I can zoom in here. Zoom in. Gives you door swings. It gives you everything you need, all the measurements. And this also is available in 3D, of course, and stitches all the rooms together. Okay. So multiple levels, it's available, and you can capture exterior as well. So if there's other damage there, you can add that into this and add it to the picture plan as well. So that's pretty important to document the flood losses. Okay. Let me quickly switch over to a demo here. So let me show you on the backend system. You can see here, this is our 3D model that has been generated from PLNAR, and you can scroll around and you can see the 3D model of it. Really sexy. Make some changes if you need to, but it's all there. Additionally, this is what you get from our backend system. So this is a 15-room project. 15 rooms. And you can see with each room, we'll send up a really nice quick video that we generate so you can quickly see it. And then you can scroll through all the damage pictures really quickly and see the damage for documentation purposes. Look at the high res on this one. This is really amazing. We do face scrubbing, text scrubbing for privacy as well. So everything in here is really well documented and high res. And so you can see most of this stuff is captured really well as part of this particular claim. All of it goes into our backend system, and you generate amazing PDF reports that document all the elements in here, all the measurements. You get the full floor level, level 1 height, and then you get all the rooms, including all the cabinetry as well, is all documented here as well. And all of this flows directly into, you can see here, the face has been scrubbed. So for privacy perspective, if a homeowner is concerned about any of these pictures being taken, all faces are scrubbed as well. But the documentation is there, and it's a really easy way to capture 30 to 40 pictures very simply from a smartphone. All right. Now, one thing I do want to mention is, again, it's all smartphone based. It's not Matterport. You don't have to buy $1,000 camera. It's not DocuSketch. You don't have to buy a different camera. It's all from your smartphone. Doesn't use a ton of battery. Takes all the pictures that you're used to, inside and outside, and can generate full 3D models and floor plans from those smartphone pictures that you're taking out. Okay. One other thing I want to mention as it relates to PLNAR. Sorry. We now have a service as of last summer called PLNAR Complete. It's virtual estimation as a service. And we partner with All Claims now. And they can deliver, they've been trained up, they know how to use PLNAR for both the virtual side on daily claims, but obviously they've got a significant footprint on the flood side, so they can use PLNAR and know how to use PLNAR cost effectively to go on site and use it for flood. So if you're looking for a partner that's licensed for flood, that knows how to use it and knows how to use PLNAR, and you extract the cost efficiencies from them, All Claims can do that as well. So the benefit of that is our automation generates the 3D models, does a ton of work for them, generates some of the estimate, and they can go and apply their knowledge on the flood to this as well. So if it's a small flood and you want to try it virtually, they can handle it. If it's a larger flood and you need to send somebody out, they can do that as well. So with that, I'll stop sharing and just say thank you for the time. I appreciate it. Looking forward to meet everyone if anyone's going out to Interconnect, at Elevate, or any of the other flood conferences later on this year. So thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it. Thank you, Richard.
Hey, Andy, really appreciate that. That was fascinating. Just the level that this has really taken off. It's amazing. It's just going to make adjusters' lives a whole lot easier.
Absolutely.
Our next guest was going to be Henriette with Hosta AI. She, unfortunately, something came up and she is not able to join us today. So hopefully we'll get her back on at some point in the future. Cary with Verisk, I'd like to bring you up and demonstrate to us the new technology that Verisk has and how it's going to impact claims adjusting.
Hey, thanks, Richard. Unfortunately, I have the duty to follow Andy on that. So yeah, Verisk has been busy working on enhancements and new releases to improve efficiency throughout the claim lifecycle. So I've got a brief slide deck here. I'm going to try to do as much of a live demo as I can, but I kind of want to walk everybody through a generic workflow, starting from first notice of loss and going through the estimating process to QA. So I will touch briefly on claim experience, but most of the stuff that I want to do is going to be in our mobile app of Xactimate. And really, when you look at flood, you look at any type of claim handling, what Verisk and I'm on the property estimating solutions team, which is formerly Xactware. What we're trying to do is allow users to investigate and adjust the claims in whatever fashion they want to. So as Andy mentioned, we integrate with PLNAR, we integrate with other companies as well to provide those tools, and then ultimately get that estimate done so the policyholder can get back to pre-loss status as quickly and as painlessly as possible. So let me pull up this next slide real quick, and then I'm going to jump into some live demo stuff. But from the first notice of loss, where we've seen some enhancements or improvements to the claim process, is getting that policyholder involved early on. You've got video collaboration. We can send file requests to the policyholder. We can start generating that personal property inventory. And I realize flood doesn't have ALE, but if you're using your P&C claims, we can start collecting those ALE amounts and receipts and so on. I think I've talked to a number of adjusters in the past, and they've said, hey, is this going to take my job? And I don't think they're looking at it the right way if that's how they're envisioning the use of this. This is just another tool in their toolbox to help them out. One of the things I go back to for flood, especially, you might have to go 5-6 hours away to handle a bunch of claims. And then when you get back to your office location, you're, oh crap, I missed something. That's where video collaboration can come into play. You can launch claim experience, get the policyholder on the other end. Hey, take your smartphone and show me this area here. I missed a picture. Boom, you just saved 6, 7, 8, 9 hours traveling back over there just to get a photo of something. And once it's collected, it all uploads to Exact Analysis. The photos can be downloaded, scopes can be downloaded into Xactimate, the inventories can be downloaded into Exact Contents. But let me jump into my mobile app now. So bear with me while I switch some screens here. We want to make sure that everybody's aware of some of the things that we can do within Xactimate Mobile. So if you have an iPad Pro 2020 or newer, or an iPhone 12 Pro or newer, your Apple device has LiDAR functionality built in. And what's nice about a lot of the work that our developers have been doing is it helps capture the measurements. It can capture some things with scope. It can capture your contents inventory when we get into our object recognition tool. And you're not using that pen and paper that Richard talked about. So I've got my iPad here, and I'm going to shut my camera off just for a few minutes here while I move around. You guys don't need to see me moving around in here. So I'm going to click on my flyout menu in the upper right hand corner, and then I'm going to click on Sketch AR. And you'll see we've got options for interior, exterior footprint if you need that for the flood, or an exterior wall. And if this is your first time using it, you can watch the tutorial video as well. For our purposes today, I'm going to select interior, and I'm going to hit new. And this is as easy as a few clicks of your screen. So you'll see, I'm just checking my screen here. Yep, I've got right above where it says floor on the bottom, I've got the little camera icon. And the application tells you what you need to capture in order to generate these measurements that I'm looking to. So I'm going to click on the floor. And now it says capture the first point on the wall line, or if I move up, it says place the square on a wall surface and tap the button to capture. I'm going to tap the button. There's wall 1. There's wall 2. There's wall 3. Number 4. Number 5. And I've got a little bump out, so I got to come back up here. There's wall 6. So now I'm going to hit the arrow key on the right hand side. For my purposes today, I just have a flat 8-foot ceiling, so the system can default to collecting that for you. So I'm going to hit that. I've got an 8-foot ceiling, and now I want to auto capture my door. You'll see that I've got the option to auto capture it, but I want to get a little more close to the actual size of the door. So I'm going to click in the bottom right hand corner, and I've got a 2.8 by 6.8 door. And then I have, bear with me here, I'm going to move my chair out of the way. I've got a closet door here because I want to show you some of the enhancements that we've done for those that have used it. So I've got another 3-foot by 6.8 door. And then I'm going to hit done in the upper right hand corner. So with just a few snaps on here or a few clicks of the camera button, I have a room that has an entry and exit door, and I have a closet door that is there as well. I can hit save. And I've done this multiple times, just making sure everything worked right today. So I can tell you that these measurements are accurate within an inch or two. If that, it's usually a lot closer than that. And again, it's LiDAR, so it's light and distance ranging. It depends on the light that you have in your room as well. So what I want to do now is show how we've added the capability for closets, because I've been on some ride-alongs with flood adjusters in the past, and they said, we'll get into these closets that are just packed full of clothes, and we can't see where the beginning or the end of it is to use that LiDAR functionality. So one thing that our team has added most recently, there's the closet wall that I want, and I'm going to draw this door again. I'm going to go 3 foot by 6'8". It's a little bit off because of how I moved it, but you can see I've got some yellow lines in here, and that's adding a standard 2-foot depth closet with a 1-foot offset on each side. And as you see in my arrows, I have the capability to click on that line, and all I'm doing is clicking that, and then I can move that out. So maybe I can see the back corner if I was to open that. I'm just going to drop it back to about 4 feet here and click the button. And then if I want to move my side, it looks like my right side is good there, but maybe my left side sticks out a little too far. So I'm going to click on the button on the side. All right, trying to click on the side here, and it's not letting me do that. There we go. I moved the little black dot. It wasn't moving. So I can pull that in a little bit closer to the door. Maybe I only have a 6-inch offset there. Now I hit done. There's my closet. I'm gonna hit save. And you can see that it obviously overlaps with the wall that I did there because I didn't modify that other line. I can go back and do that if I need to, but for our purposes right now, I'm just gonna hit return to sketch. It's gonna merge my rooms together. And you'll see that it adjusted that closet wall. From here, if I know that it's the same depth of the other wall, I can go back and add that in there as well. Now I still have all the same functionality as I do in Sketch, either in mobile or online. And I can go through, add line items if I want to. I have a capability for macros that I normally have. I have suggested items. I'm just going to add, I made one in here earlier, so we'll just do this. Here's all the line items I want. I'm going to hit add. I've added all those line items to my room or the part that I had highlighted. So I've got that there. So that is the sketch and the LiDAR component that I wanted to show. Now I want to move into the object recognition for contents. And where I see the benefit here is flood adjusters are often coming into rooms and they see a bunch of stuff. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Insured, let's start collecting that inventory. I'll leave you some paper forms and we can start filling it out. I've already mentioned that Claim Experience can help with that and start developing that digitally, but we also have the capability within our object contents, object recognition. So on the lower right-hand corner, I click contents, object recognition. And at the top, I have single object or multiple objects. So I'm gonna leave it on single object right now. And I've got a few items that I put out. So I've got a drill here. It says it's a power tool. You'll see when I move closer or pull farther away, it's going to change. I want it to just be a power tool. And okay, what's my power tool? There's my drill. I can hit add. It added my drill. What's the next one? It's a screwdriver. I can hit add, screwdriver, individual. Nothing special. It's just a screwdriver. I've got a pillow. And then I've got a vacuum cleaner sitting here. It wants to say it's exercise equipment too. So again, as you move around, you'll get a little bit different here. And if for some reason the system said, hey, it's an exercise, it thinks it's exercise equipment, we can come into the little pencil that's up by the vacuum cleaner name. We can go through and change it and submit feedback to help our machine learning models better identify what is in the building. So that is our object recognition. I'm gonna cancel this one. That's the single object. And now I want to do multiple objects. I'm gonna back up here. So here's my desk. I've got a couple monitors and I'm just gonna hit capture. So it picked up my picture on the wall. I don't want to worry about that one right now. It picked up my iPad dock station. I don't want that right now, but it did pick up my laptop. So I'm gonna say it's that laptop. It picked up my monitor, just a standard monitor, and then it picked up another monitor. So storage box, that's a box of Kleenex, so I could go in and say, you know, that's not correct and edit that. But it did also pick up my desk. So I want to pick up my desk here, and we'll just say it's a high grade. So I can add those 4 line items with just a few clicks instead of handwriting everything out and then having to transfer it into exact contents and verifying the price. This adds the general quote item in that most users are familiar with. And if I hit done and I go back to my inventory, you'll see there's my drill, my screwdriver, my pillow, my laptop, monitor, and my desk. So again, I've got all those items in there, and let me jump through. So there's my FNOL. We talked about video collaboration and gathering and collaborating with the policyholder. I did the LiDAR to gather the measurements, and now I've done my contents. So as I move through that, Xactimate's newest, or one of the newest items, is our real-time rules engine that can be very helpful for your adjusters, for flood adjusters especially, because we know that as we complete the estimate, it has to go to a review process, and carriers or our third-party administrators review teams are actually looking for different things within the estimate. We can set rules up to make sure that the estimates are written correctly the first time, and we'll be notified of these issues in real time. So this is called Exact Expert. And for those of you that have used an updated version of Xactimate desktop or online recently, you'll see this slide bar on the right hand side, and then you'll also see it in the near future in mobile, as we're working on that right now as well. But I've got some violations that are really required fields I have not put in. But let me drop this line item in here, and you'll see some warnings pop up. Now I've got 3 warnings. What are they? I've got 0 quantity for something. I've got excess wall coverings. And what that is I added prime and paint, and then I added paint. So I can click on the little warning icon or the violation icon, and it'll take me right to that section. And I can go through it and correct that. So date of loss, it'll take me to my claim info. And I'm just going to double click on the date of loss here, and you'll notice date of loss moved. I go to warning, and let's go right to my excess seal and paint material. So I'm going to go back here. It highlighted my item. I'm just going to delete this item. I don't need it. Now I only have 1 warning. And the warnings you can set based on rules, whatever rules anybody wants. But again, this is to help the adjuster real time. So we don't have to send it through, have it reviewed. Oh, you don't have these 10 things correct. And then we have to spend more time correcting them. Then we have to send it back. It has to get reviewed again. The idea here is to catch this real time on the first go round with the estimate. All right. So we've got the QA portion done. And again, we have over 900 general industry rules, over 2,000 custom rules, and currently we're working on a rule set for flood based on some feedback we've gotten from IA companies and carrier companies. So that should be coming in the near future. And once that is in production, we'll get some testers to see, hey, are these the most appropriate rules based on what you're seeing, and make sure that everything is triggering correctly. So let me just recap real quick. I think the future of estimating is going to be collaboration. It's working with your policyholders and working in the method that the adjuster wants or needs to work in. So we're trying to be flexible with everything that we have and make that as efficient as possible. And as we do that, the adjuster doesn't have to necessarily worry about, hey, you know, this is my job, I'm losing my job. No, that's not the idea behind it. It's let's make it easier. You know, the old adage, work harder, not smarter. You know, we want to make sure that we're working smarter, not harder. All right. So if you need any more information, Xactimate, wise, we've got our website here, verisk.com/insurance/product/Xactimate. We've got information on Exact Expert, flood estimating, exact scope, and so on. I just picked a few of the more up-to-date things that I wanted to mention and what we've done with the mobile app. So let me bring Richard back on here, and I think we can kick it back to him.
All right. Thanks, Cary. Awesome. I'll tell you what, between the two of you guys so far, I'm thinking about quitting my day job and going back to being an adjuster again, because this stuff is really cool from where we were just a few years ago. It's really cool. Hey, guess what, everybody? Henriette was able to join us, and so we're going to bring her up on stage, and we really appreciate you coming to join us today. And can you just tell us a little about Hosta AI and how its technology is impacting claims adjusting?
So perfect. Thank you so much. Apologies for the little hiccup here, and thank you for putting me on stage. Let me share my screen to make sure you can all see it. Are you able to see my slides? Just making sure that's possible. Yes, perfect. I want to start off with my own story. I worked in a corporate environment in financial services, automotive, and for one of the largest fashion retailers in Europe. I was confronted with plenty of consultants telling me about AI, big data, digitization, and they all used these buzzwords in a synonymous manner. It was terribly confusing to me and, quite frankly, also a little threatening. And that was 2016, 2017, not that long ago. And all had the same idea that, you know, everyone was thinking eventually this will take off a lot of jobs. And all that change happened around me was just terrifying. I think it was terrifying me. And on top of that, I had plenty of personal things going on during that time, which doesn't help, you know, with managing that emotional state. And so, you know, I'm not saying that any of these personal things or my personal relationship to AI back then is meant to get any pity in here or to build any empathy. But I do think these times of technology shifting so quickly are pretty tough. And I want to take this up front just to share my story with you and let you know where I'm coming from and why I started Hosta AI. And, you know, I think I'm very compassionate for what everybody is going through here. COVID has put a lot of pressure on all of us, personally as well as professionally. And technology is evolving at an incredible speed. I think it took ChatGPT about 9 months to adopt with 100 million users. 9 months. It's incredible. And it feels like we cannot catch up and we are left behind. I had the opportunity to come to the United States to study for a year at a very good school and understand what AI is really about. And I'm aware that I'm privileged and very lucky about this because we're all working hard, but we don't all have the opportunity to sacrifice certain things to take a year off and study artificial intelligence and really understand what it's all about. We need to come after our obligations. And this is why I co-founded Hosta. We are on a mission to create a safe space where people can grow and understand the benefits and shortcomings of artificial intelligence and offer a solution to you where you can embrace the change and grow with the change instead of fearing it. And we promise you that there are no stupid questions and that we take the time to help you understand what artificial intelligence is really about and how we can use artificial intelligence for your benefit to come out on the other side, to come out stronger, to understand how you can leverage artificial intelligence and, for example, what we can offer to you to be just better in what you're doing and to be smarter in what you're doing, actually. And not that you're not, but even smarter using and leveraging technology. With that, I want to recognize a couple of things that are relevant for the industry, right? We all recognize the trifecta of challenges you're facing. Increasing cost pressures, especially on low complexity claims. There's a number of raising claims volume and not enough people to actually work through them while meeting customer expectations in terms of SLAs, but also in terms of different journeys, be it a digital or in-person journey. And consumer preferences are shifting, right? For small damages, consumers just want to get it done with. And so we are here to navigating those together, those challenges. Our goal is to elevate your administrative burden and to allow you to focus on what truly matters: customer satisfaction, cycle times, and reduced cost. So let's delve into Hosta AI technology and how we can facilitate with that. Let me introduce Hosta AI to you. Hosta is a truly seamlessly interior property assessment technology. What we do is we turn images of interior properties into estimates, meaning into line items within Xactimate, into sketches. So you have a pre-populated estimate in Xactimate just from images. We do not require an app. We do not require any special devices, no LiDAR, nothing. All you need to do is click on a link, take 4 to 16 pictures, depending on the room complexity, and we are pre-populating an estimate for water damages in Xactimate, including the sketch and including a report that contains all the images and pointers on things you need to double check on to validate whether the estimate is accurate or not. As mentioned, it takes 4 to 16 images. It's super simple. You literally just need an image per wall. It takes less than 2 minutes per capture. And you don't need any LiDAR, you don't need any app, you don't need any special camera, nor any special phone. Let me just give you a brief video on how this works. So it starts off with our link. Policyholder, contractor, whoever you want to send the link to, clicks on a link, selects the room, and then starts the capturing process. Take a close-up of the damage and a little bit more context of the damage. You can obviously capture several damages, not just one. So imagine here's a damage. Sorry, needed to put this together quickly here. And you would take 2 steps back, take another picture of the damage. And then what we need is room context, meaning a picture of each wall. Like, when you are on site, you want to understand what's holistically going on. So what you do is basically, as the next step, you would go into that space and take a picture on each wall, which is going to be shown right now. So next is the room capture. You don't have any more damages, so you start the room capture here. First wall, we need floor and ceiling in the picture to understand the measurements correctly. You have a chance to zoom out if you want to be able to capture the entire wall and you're too close because the room might be small. So just zoom out with your phone. All phones by now have zoom functions, and make sure that the wall is captured correctly. So this is the first wall you're capturing. You go for the second wall. You give your feedback on those images, whether they have captured everything. And then it's done. Basically going through this room now, so you just understand the context of the space. With that in mind, you see how extremely simple it is to just capture the space and how everybody can do it. My mother, who is very, very non-tech savvy, can take those pictures. I have taken her as my primary user to make sure this is working. And once this is uploaded, we are processing the images, and as an output, what you receive is, as I mentioned, the sketch, as well as line items pre-populated into Xactimate, as well as a report in Xactimate, gives you pointers of what else is needed. It's fantastic. So here's your first image to scope solution or image to estimate solution that has ever been created in the industry. We're extremely proud to be able to demonstrate that to you today. And we do more than just, sorry, I'm trying to get to the next slide, than just digitizing, right? Our Images are captured directly within the estimation platform. So we are uploading those images. We provide the rapid capture of the actual damage, the precise line items, the detailed sketches, the necessary documentation for your claim to defend the claim, and all that as data packages that you can incorporate into your existing workflows and systems so that you don't need to work in another system yet, right? I mean, I guess the average number of systems you're working with are already 10 to 20 systems already, right? So learning another environment is just tricky. So we operate in your existing environments. I would like to invite you to use this opportunity and start working with us, test us out. There's an easy way to reach out to me. Here's my email, as my CRO's email. Please reach out if you want to try our solution and get super simple estimates from images to enhance your workflows, systems, and make sure that your customer experience satisfaction is just flourishing. I really appreciate your time and patience today with me. Really, it was a pleasure talking to you. I'm looking to head it back to Patrick. Thank you.
Thanks, Henriette. That was amazing. That was amazing. One of the things that it's pretty common that I've heard throughout all of these presentations today is that the technology is here to improve the customer experience, which is shorten the time to complete a claim and get the money to the customers faster, provide more time to spend with the client or customer, and provide better customer service, which is really the main driver. The carriers are looking for that that insured to sign back up with them again, right? I mean, they make their living not off of the difference between what they pay out for a claim and what they take in for the policy. They make their money off of investing that, and they need as many customers as they can get to reinvest that into to make them more money. I just see that it makes adjusters a lot more efficient and handle more claims.
Extremely more efficient. Some of them don't even need to, if you're a customer, I'm sorry, I'm jumping in here, but you speak out of my soul here, right? This is an ability to not drive 2 hours out to a very small claim and then take, the assessment of the claim. But if the policyholder is open to just take the pictures, you have an opportunity here to work together, and it's a beneficial thing for both sides, right? It's a win-win situation. I completely agree with you.
Absolutely. I know I think we have a few questions in here. We'd like to see, get some answers for some of the adjusters that have joined us today. And I'm just scrolling through here. It looks like one of the questions Mike asked was, using LiDAR, would there be issues with them if you don't have lighting due to power outages? Would that affect it?
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. What I've seen some adjusters will wear like a headlamp in those low lighting situations if they still want to use it. I've seen some adjusters change and use a disto device that could be integrated into the mobile application. I've seen some adjusters take their, I don't know if you can see this, take their iPad and they'll turn their camera on or their flashlight on their phone and just hold it like this and walk through. I've seen, and they said they've had good success with that going through there. So
Okay, great. Those are some good ideas. On Exact Mobile, are the contents photographed once you have the floor plan complete by going into each room, or are those contents placed in that room? Not quite sure the question on that. I'm wondering if they need to take separate photos, if he's saying we need to take separate photos.
yeah, if I'm understanding this correctly, so as long as I'm highlighted on that room, and that's one thing that I showed is if you highlight your rooms and then you go into your object recognition, when you snap the picture and start adding the items, it will be in that room. If your room is not highlighted, then it won't be in that room.
Okay. Another question, do these tools verify location address to ensure and reduce claims fraud?
I can jump in on that one. One of the things that we do is every picture is stamped with the latitude and longitude we show you on the map and in the report where the pictures were taken. So some of the interesting things we see, especially when you're dealing with self-service, is if your neighbor has a claim, then some people will go over to your neighbor and start taking pictures and submit that as your own. Now, on our map, on our Google map with all the pictures in latitude and longitude, when the address is 7311 and the pictures are showing up at 7315, then you know that there's fraud going on here. And sometimes we actually see pictures from one home, and then they'll go to submit another room at another location. And so you'll see two bunches of pictures on the map from two different locations. So number one, from a location perspective, we validate, we stamp the latitude and longitude. Now, more importantly, though, is you have to be careful with some of the PII associated with that. And some of the carriers are very restrictive on what information they want to share with us. We don't want it. We don't need it. We don't want to incorporate that into our system. And so we have that data. We can verify if the pictures look off, right? And you have to take the picture from within our app. So that prevents, this is one important thing, that prevents people from uploading pictures from their friends. That prevents people from taking pictures in different locations. That prevents people from taking a picture, putting a picture of a damage in front of that camera and taking the picture. So the app actually prevents a ton of fraud as well. So that's the latitude and longitude is important. We do stamp that. And also the app itself prevents a ton of fraud because you have to take the pictures from within the app. You can't upload. And that prevents a lot of folks from uploading from their camera roll from maybe previous claims or things like that.
So the same thing applies to the content sense of location. It's going to
absolutely.
I remember the stories about the red velvet couch from Hurricane Katrina that must have made it to 50 different.
It showed up a bunch of times, yeah.
Same couch. So that's kind of interesting. I'll kind of throw this out to all of you. And so, I mean, where you've taken us today is light years from where pen and paper. What's kind of the pie in the sky? What do you guys think is going to happen in the future with this? Is there anything else out there on the horizon that you see, kind of Star Trek-ish shit that we're going to head into some point, maybe in the next decade? I know AI is speeding everything up like crazy. No?
I defer to Henriette on that one. She's the AI. AI expertise.
Thank you. I think nobody really understands what the next decade brings, right? I was talking about OpenAI or ChatGPT just taking 9 months to adopt to 100 million users. Just the dimension of that is not tangible in my brain, at least. So I think that technology will adopt faster and faster, and with new models coming, there are also new opportunities, and there's new computing power. There will be new sensors that are cheaper, etc. Hence, there's more and more applications with artificial intelligence that are going to be released over the next 10 years that will be very useful for us. Some might be threatening to us. I think overall, what's still going to be most complicated, there's an interesting analogy, I think. If the task at hand is comparable to folding a blouse, for example, it's very unlikely that AI is going to copy that. The haptics, the brain power, etc. What you need to compute that is too complicated currently for computers to still do that. So as long as it's not a repetitive task, or there are very clear rules around how that task can be accomplished, it's going to be harder for AI to replicate or support or augment certain things. So I think what's going to be interesting over the next 10 years is what are those repetitive tasks that can help us to make our work more effectively and efficiently overall and make our lives all easier. Hoping that we never get a real big electricity outage because we become more dependent on technology.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's automation where it makes sense, because I don't think we can get rid of everything, every human interaction, because it's a loss. These people have likely never been through this before, and now we need some compassion, we need some empathy, but we need to, at the same point in time, remove those manual data entry steps that we all have, forms, things like that we have to fill out and send in. So, it'd be nice, Richard, if we could get to where we're proactive instead of reactive on the claim side, but it's the nature of the claim.
Richard, we kind of have two schools of thought, and maybe this, I think this dovetails to what both Cary and Henriette said, is we think of it in two ways. Number one, the carriers are reticent to adopt AI really fast. It's dangerous, right? So as one chief claims officer said to me, Andy, I love this automated estimate writing, but everybody finds a way around it. So suddenly you could have 100 people submit 100 claims, or one person submit 100 claims, and a check automatically goes out for it. And that paranoia is real. It's real. And so I think the way we approach it is we'll go as fast on AI as fast as the market wants to go, right? As far as they can go, as far as they're comfortable, as fast as they're comfortable going. That's number one. Number two, we think about it not necessarily as AI, but IA, intelligence augmentation, right? So there's a whole school of thought around the predecessor to AI is manumating things, right? The predecessor is, how do I, like Henriette said, how do I do those things that manually take a lot of time? And that's really where we focus a lot of our roadmap energy on, right? Knowing that we need to move as fast as the industry is able to adopt. But more importantly is, let's go knock out those things that take so much time. Like Cary's example of adding the contents is just exceptional, right? It takes so long to go do that. That's a great, I automatically detect a piece of content and automatically gets added to it. That's a great, both using AI, right? But it's also automating some of the stuff that is easy to use, but takes these adjusters a long time, right? Let's let them apply their brain to the stuff that matters, right? Them understanding all the rules, them doing the stuff that's taken years to learn, right? While we just do some of the manual stuff that just makes their life miserable, and we can automate. So that's kind of our approach.
Excellent. Well, I know we have one other question that hadn't been answered yet, and that was, will there be more training for Exact Mobile offered? I would guess that would be on the website.
Yeah, that's where I would look for it. Just
Okay.
If you go out to Verisk.com, click on insurance and then claims, you can get down to Xactimate, and then you can find the Xactimate training, or you can just search for Xactimate training on there. And
Okay.
there's information there. There's exact expert tips out on YouTube, and there's Xactimate ninjas out on Facebook. So there's a lot of people that have ideas and have found better ways to do things. So,
well, Henriette, Cary, Andy, thank you all so much for coming and spending time with us today and enlightening us on what's going on out there. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Layla for some closing remarks.
Just want to thank all of you for your time and the fascinating presentations. Honestly, it's the first time I have seen technology like that for claims. And I don't work on the claims side, so it is just incredible, the advancements and the opportunities to really improve customer experience through that technology. So that's amazing. As we close the session, I just want to remind all of you that you will continue to have access to the information in this app. We'll let you know where you will be able to access the recording once it's available, and we will also share contact information for the individuals who participated today so that you can reach out. Also, wanted to be sure that you are all aware that NFA is holding our annual conference March 24th through 26th this year in beautiful Scottsdale, Arizona. Registration is currently open. Discounted registration is available through February 9th. We are going to have just such a robust program and panels like this on other topics as well. We will definitely have more claims topics and information. We're also going to have other things related to insurance, state of the market, other technology advancements for flood modeling. So we hope to see you there. Please visit our website, visit our LinkedIn page for more information, and reach out to us if you have any questions. So thank you all again for attending. Really appreciate it. Take care.